Hi everyone, it's Kelly from Tutoring Tips for Teachers, and welcome so much to our channel where we help you make your tutoring dreams come true. And today I'm so excited because we have a really special guest who has helped me very much to make my tutoring dreams come true. It's been a huge inspiration to me, and it is Katie Gettys. And Katie has been on a teacher on Outschool. She's gone from, well, she's going to tell you all about her journey, but she's gone from a classroom teacher to having like a fairly large music studio. And I'm really excited to talk to her about that. So welcome, Katie. Welcome to the channel.
Thanks, Kelly. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. So, Katie, I started watching you on YouTube way back when you
Mhm.
first started your channel, and that was in 2021. So for a few
Yeah.
years now, and I watched like your whole journey. So can you just tell us about where, like how you started out teaching in a school and then how
Mm.
that kind of evolved?
Of course, yeah. Ooh, it's a little bit of a long story, but I will try to
Yeah.
do the good key points. Okay, so I studied music education in school at Florida State University, and I always knew I wanted to be a teacher, so I went directly into the classroom. And I taught in the classroom as an elementary music teacher for about a year and a half, which I adored. I loved it. I mean, anybody in their first year or so of teaching obviously was very stressful, but I loved it. I adored it. I loved the kids. But when I was at that point, I was about 24, and I had this quarter life crisis because I was like, I'd always wanted to live abroad and experience what that was like. And so I decided I was going to quit my job. I was going to go abroad for a year and I would come back. I even talked about like going on leave. And anyway, that didn't happen. Spoiler alert. But I decided to move abroad for a year. So I moved to Prague in the Czech Republic, where I did also teach, but I was teaching English also in person. But I got started teaching online at that point because I was abroad and was working with the company VIP Kid. And so that's how I really got my start teaching online. Was teaching English to kids in China. But that was the first time I was like, oh, wow, like this is a thing. People teach online and you can make a living out of this. What a concept. And so I did that while I was living and traveling abroad for about a year and a half. And then actually met my husband when I was living in the Czech Republic. But I decided to come back to the US pretty much when the pandemic happened. So pandemic hit, I come home, I'm in this intercontinental long distance relationship. I'm like, I don't think going back to the classroom feels right to me because I kind of escaped the 9 to 5 world and felt what that was like for a while. And so I was like, I think I'm gonna explore other options. And that's when I found Outschool. And so I started on Outschool. I put my 100% into it right away, put a bunch of classes up, and I had very early success, which was very exciting. And it kind of opened my eyes to like, wow, I think I could do this forever. How cool. And so basically that's what happened since then. So I taught on Outschool independently as a teacher on my own for about a year. But after that year, I realized I couldn't meet the demand and I didn't want to teach as many hours as I had been teaching. And so that's when I became an organization. And so I hired on my first teacher. I was starting to hand off some of those classes continued to grow, hired on a few more teachers, etc. And about 4 years into my Outschool journey, I love the platform and I will never speak ill will of Outschool. But I'd been doing that for quite a while and I was kind of ready to go my own way and find my own students. And so I started doing my own marketing and I started marketing the studio on Instagram, using Facebook ads, using email marketing. And it was a crazy, exciting, what's the word? I guess journey, cheesy but true. Then where we were able to bring on 45 new students off platform that we found through marketing in the first 60 days there. So that was really eye opening. So ever since then, I've kind of dove into having an independent off platform music studio and yeah, really excited about the growth in this year too. So that's the journey.
Well, thank you. That I know it's quite a story, and it happened
Long-winded.
in fairly. I know it's okay. It's all good, and it happened in like a fairly short time span that we
Yeah.
think about. You went from teaching in a school in a classroom to having your own music studio. That's where you. How many teachers do you have working for you now?
Right now it's me plus three.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. And you have quite a few students too, right?
Yeah,
Like it's
definitely.
grown a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a pretty huge um huge growth in a short amount of
Yeah.
time to go from VIP kid, which is like
Right.
like the very beginning, and then, and then teaching on Outschool and forming the organization and all of that. And you've learned so much about marketing along the way, and how to organize your business, and how to scale, and how to hire other teachers. Like, it's just a wealth of information. And I'm going to link your YouTube channel below too, because it's pretty awesome. Like, you can learn so much from that. I know you're talking a lot about Outschool and stuff on the channel, but still, we could still learn so much from it, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm excited because I am a part of your, like, mastermind course,
Yeah.
which is called I was calling it Katie's course. I'm going to Katie's course now, but it's actually called the Online Teacher Enrollment System, where
Yeah.
you share how you've used, like, Instagram and Facebook ads. And you know what I love about it is that it's not hard. Like, there's always this big
Mhm.
mystery about Facebook ads and Instagram ads, like, that it's going to be so hard to figure out, and you have to hire someone to help you, and it's like this big mysterious thing that only, certain people can access, or that you have to pay a lot of money to access, right? But you actually make it really, really easy. So can you tell us, like, a little bit about the formula that you teach in the course?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. I just have to speak to that. I totally agree. Like before I started this process and before we started doing our own marketing, I had been in the online marketing world for quite a while. Like I did Outschool coaching and all this stuff, and so I've learned a lot from that. And what I know to be true is everybody overcomplicates everything. Like we all think that things are more complicated than they need to be. And so I agree. Like that was when we really took off, was when we were able to simplify things and stop doing all the things and just focus on a few things that connected. And like as long as we had quote unquote a client journey that made sense, or a funnel as we teach in the course that made sense, that you can find students. You don't have to, be on every channel. You don't have to, like you said, hire someone to do ads for you, etc. So I agree totally with that. But yes, as far as the formula goes, absolutely. So we teach in the course a very simple funnel system where basically you just have to have something set up in the back end of your business that can attract people into your business, where you can find people, get eyes on your business, right? Then you can nurture them and then you can convert them, you can sell to them. And so you can do that in a lot of ways, right? Different people have different ways to get eyes on their business, different people have different ways to nurture people. But what we teach in the course, the main way that we talk about bringing new people in and attracting people in is with Instagram. So we talk about Instagram Reels, how to create Instagram Reels in the most straightforward and simple way. But we also talk about ads, like Kelly was saying. And so we talk about both setting up ads on Instagram and using just boosting and that kind of thing. But we also talk about Facebook ads, where you literally take your Instagram Reels and you just find the ones that have performed the best organically. And you're able to, of course, we want the messaging to align with, like, if someone was finding you for the first time, are you pulling in people who you are your ideal clients? That's important as well. But if they perform well organically, it's likely that they would perform well as an ad too. So we talk about how to pick out a reel that would perform well, how to set up a very simple ad that uses the reel as the creative. And then we also talk about email marketing as well. And so that is I love email marketing just because, of course, I mean, there's so many reasons, but it's very hands-off way. So it talks about how we can nurture people on autopilot. So you don't have to be the one showing up every single day, maybe like DMing people on Instagram, or, making phone calls every single day, or whatever other more hands-on ways for nurturing would be. But we basically set up a freebie. So I know in the course we teach on creating a free lesson, like a free video lesson, where you show off your teaching style. You talk about yourself as a teacher, you talk about, you pitch to them, you talk about what program would be best for them, and we promote this freebie. And then once people have downloaded that from you, they also go through a sequence of, so then the emails are nurturing them, they're warming them up to them, and they invite you to do something like set up a meet and greet call, or purchase this course or purchase this program from you to work with you. And so you're able to do that in a more hands-off way. So once you have that simple funnel set up in the background, you can focus on just bringing people into the funnel and like we talked about earlier, like doing the traffic piece, doing the reels, all that kind of thing. So I would say that's the basic structure of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's a pretty good detailed explanation, and it's really good because we don't like so many of us watching this channel are teachers who just want to start tutoring like as a side business and eventually hopefully grow it big enough to leave the classroom. And so
Mhm.
Katie has actually done that. And this is what you have to learn how to do in order to take those steps. And we don't know anything about marketing. Like, I mean,
Right.
I knew zero. I didn't know what a funnel
Yeah.
was. I didn't know like I don't know I know what a Facebook ad is to watch one, but how you actually make one, I have no idea, right? So
Yeah.
you're teaching like all these things that is really important to know if you want to grow your business to the point where you're going to be able to make enough income to actually like live off of it, and be a full-time tutor. These are the steps that you have to take, and it's really really important because a lot of people think, well, I'll just put an ad on Facebook, and like I talk about that a lot because Facebook has been really kind to me and but it's way
Right.
more in depth than that, you know what I mean? Like you can do a lot of organic marketing and get a lot of success. But if you want to
Oh,
take it
yeah.
to the next level, then this is how you do it. Like you need to have all these pieces in place, like all these pieces of marketing. And the way you teach us how to do reels is it works, and I can be like a testimonial to that because when I was doing my own reels on my tutoring channel or my tutoring account on Instagram before, I'd get like 200-300 views and I'd be like, "Oh my god, that's so amazing." But when I started doing
Which
them
it
the
is.
way the way you taught me how to do them, it would be consistently over 1,000 views.
Yeah.
So it's like really like this stuff really really works. Like you have done your research, you've tried it out, you know what works, and you're teaching all of it in this course, which is so amazing. So I like for
Oh,
any tutor who wants to go to the next level, like I'm going to put the link in the description box below, and I think you should talk to Katie because she'll help you definitely get to that next level. And it's really really helpful. All the things that we're learning in the course have been so helpful to me for sure, and I know to the other people too, because and it's a great community that you've created as well, which is
yeah.
really really nice.
Yeah. Which is so
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I appreciate all of the kind words. I'm so glad to hear that. And I will say too, a lot of the time sometimes I kick myself, because I was on like a platform, let's say, which I know is really common. It's a common way to start out as an online teacher, as a tutor, anything like that. If you're trying to get more online students and you're not sure how to do the marketing piece, it's common to go to a platform like Outschool or tutors.com or whatever, and they take a cut. And, I was kicking myself for the longest time of, oh, I spent, 3 to 4 years giving 30% of my income to this platform. But also the reality is like that is a common way in the beginning. Sometimes you're just not ready for it, Like I was not at the time, I wasn't ready to dive into learning all the pieces of marketing. Like I just wasn't at that point yet. But you get to a point, I feel like in your teaching career and your tutoring career where you're like, you know what, I am ready to like take back control of this. I'm ready to, not have to rely on a different business to do my marketing for me. Like, I know that I can learn this skill. Like, marketing is a learned skill and I can learn it. And as long as I just put in the work and I can find those students, a lot of us have recurring packages, right? So, like, I know for, myself, we do, I mean, now I have teachers, so we can always be marketing and bringing in new students. But like if I was an independent music teacher and I'm teaching one-on-one lessons, I likely will build my schedule up to maybe 20 to 30 one-on-one students. And if you do the marketing, bring that influx of students in, they're on a recurring package for like years and years to come. Like I know most of us as teachers are incredible teachers and like do know very well how to work with our students. So once you bring in that student for the first time, like they're likely to stick around for years and years. So even if it does take some upfront costs, like maybe you do some Facebook ads or it takes some obviously investment of your time to learn how to do the marketing, like it can just pay off for years and years and years to come. So that was the light bulb moment for me when I realized like the difference that it could really make if I just put in a few months of work, that students could stay with me for years after that. So,
Yeah. You're right. And now and you have the skills to always get students. Like You can,
Yeah.
and we were talking about this, I think, in the last meeting too, at your course too, is that you can use these skills for other income streams as well, which I think is really important if you want to tutor full time, like digital products. Like you don't just have to sell them on TPT. You can sell them on
Right.
your own website and make like 100% of your own income, like how you don't have to work on Outschool, you can work on your own. So you can use
Right.
this for other things that are related to tutoring that you can make income from as well. Summer camps, if you want to run them in the summer, like so you can use it for anything, right? These
Yeah.
skills apply to anything that you can use, make income from your business. And you know what is really kind of key that you mentioned Outschool, and I think I'm sure I learned this from watching your YouTube videos too, is that Outschool is a really great resource for learning about marketing, actually.
Yes.
It is. I've been a teacher on Outschool since 2021. Never taught a single student because I just didn't have the patience to like put out the classes and all this. But it
Yeah.
has been such a great resource for me to like learn about how they market their classes. And it's like look at Outschool if you want to get some ideas and what the kind of classes
Yeah.
that people are offering and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's a pretty good resource. But yes, to your
Absolutely.
to your point, you have to spend the time to learn. Like investing in learning about marketing is so important. And and I'm so happy that I'm learning with you, Katie, because you are on like a very similar journey to me and so many other tutors.
Yeah.
So like if I hire just a general business coach, they don't know what it's
Right.
like to be a teacher. They don't know what it's like, to work in the classroom or
Yeah.
like to have that kind of mindset. You know what, like and how to break free from it. They won't know what it's like. But to work with someone who's actually been there and, is on this journey, it's
Right.
pretty incredible. So
It's
that's
funny you say
awesome.
that. Also, first of all, thank you. I'm so glad to hear that. That is such a big part of why we're working together. But one thing I was gonna say related to that was I feel like that is one reason it took me so long. Like I said, I was on the platform not finding our own students for like 3 to 4 years. And like I said, I had a lot of experience with online marketing, but for some reason there was this disconnect with marketing to work specifically with kids. Like I know a lot of us as tutors, obviously we're working with kids in elementary, middle school, high school, and with online marketing, things like social media marketing with Instagram, stuff like that, it's like how they're not on the app, right? Like my elementary kids are not scrolling on Instagram. So it was really difficult for me to figure out how I could write my messaging for the parent that but also speak to the kid and the kids wants and the kids desires, but also the parents wants and the parents desires. And I hadn't seen someone do it before. And so that's what took me so long. But I think like to what you were saying, it's so helpful and affirming to like have somebody go before you and to be able to try it and like you said be speaking to someone so similar to what you're doing and to be able to kind of follow in that footpath. So I totally agree. Like to be honest, like I'm not that far ahead of the people in this course right now. Like I just started doing our own marketing back this past summer, which was like 6 months ago. But even just being one step ahead, like I know you're a coach and you're speaking to a lot of people who may be interested in coaching or tutoring, and you just have to be like one step ahead of somebody to be able to support them and to help them through it as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. No, it's so true. And I think, yeah, and what I love about your course is it's exactly what I said. It's if you want to take your tutoring business from being a side hustle, right? Or a part-time business. And you know what? My business is very part-time and I kind of like it like that. Like I don't
Right.
necessarily want to take on like that much more stuff, right? But
Yeah.
I know at some point I will, and I know that many people out there will do want to, and they have to because they have to make an income from it, right? Like a
Right.
full-time income. So that's like your course is perfect for that because it helps you go from that level of just being like, a part-time, like, oh, I have, a few kids a week, to having like a
Right.
full-on business where you can actually have enough students where you can hire other tutors and you have students for them, right? And you can
Yeah.
like really grow your business into something that's sustainable for the long term that you can live off of for the rest of your life and
Yeah.
make it into an actual business. So that's what I really love about your course is it takes you from
Mm.
that place of just, part-time side hustle to actual business. And
Right.
like you said, it's not like like I know you're like you are many steps ahead of me, but you're not. I can see the journey that you've taken, right? Like it's within my vision. And I think for a lot of people too, we could see the journey that you've taken, and we can just relate to you because you were in the classroom. Like anyone who's actually taught in a classroom, has like that that street cred, that we
Yeah,
can actually relate to it. Like we've all been there, right? And if
right.
you can go on this journey, then we can go on this journey and follow you as well. So that's
Oh.
really, really meaningful,
That's
I
so
think.
beautiful. And one thing that you were saying too that really resonated with me, which you mentioned a little bit earlier, which like you said, we were actually talking about in our call, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, was that there are so many other ways too that you can scale your business. Like you were saying, you were getting to a point where maybe your one-on-ones are actually quite full and you're like, well, should I really be marketing anymore? Because I don't know if I want to increase my teaching time. But there are so many ways to continue to scale your tutoring business. Like, sure, we start off with one-on-ones, but maybe one day you want to do group lessons, or like Kelly was saying, maybe one day you want to hire on other tutors, you want to become an organization, and maybe you want to be stepping more into like a visionary role and start leading other teachers and like building a community rather than just doing everything hands-on, trading your own time for money. And like maybe you want to start dipping into digital products like you were saying. Like I have a client right now in my mastermind. I have a mastermind as well that's more of like for people like in this position, like hiring and scaling in other ways. And she is like very full at her schedule. She does not have any more teaching time available to her. So instead, with her growing her own Instagram account and her own email list, she's going to use that to build up a membership type model, where the kids or the people can come into kind of dip into any live class that she hosts, and then she can do pre-recorded videos and stuff like that. So it ends up being less about just trading your time for money, and there's so many other ways that you can scale your business and kind of grow in ways that you maybe didn't even consider before. But it all, like, marketing and sales goes into any of that. Like, no matter what stage of business that you're at, that is always going to be like a very foundational and important thing to have in your business and to prioritize. And it's funny because I think a lot of us are kind of scared to do the marketing because we're like afraid of failure or even afraid of success, which I mean could be a whole nother conversation. But like a lot of us won't prioritize the marketing. Like maybe we'll busy ourselves with back end work, like creating a whole course before selling it or stuff like that, because we're scared to put yourself out there in that way. And like that's so normal and that's so common. But it comes to a point where if you do want to continue to grow, if you do want to like find your own students, like it's necessary and it's foundational, to keep growing. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it is 100%. It is like no, there's no negotiating. You have to learn how to market your tutoring business. You have to if you want it to be sustainable in the long run. And and your course is so good because yeah, you even talk about different ways to scale. Like so you're not trading your time for money, which is a huge that which can become a huge issue for a lot of tutors. Like I know I've run into that where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't tutor any more kids. Like I just don't have any more time. But you can get so many ideas for where to go next, right? When you're
Right.
just lost and you don't know. So I
Absolutely.
love that. I really love that about your course. It's so supportive all around. So you're gonna learn the marketing skills. You're gonna learn like all these things that you have learned on your journey to build your business, right? All the things about marketing, but then you're going to also learn about how you can scale your business, all these different ideas that you can do to so that you're not just doing one to one to one like all the time on your own. Maybe you're going to hire people to help you or do groups or memberships or whatever. It's just like a whole comprehensive package, and I find it very supportive because it is all teachers. Like it's
Yeah.
for teachers, and they're supporting one another. And I find that is really, really great, Katie. It's a wonderful course, and I thank you so much for creating it and for sharing your
Aw.
knowledge. It's really great.
Of
Thank you.
course. Oh my gosh, I love it. I mean, as you know, and you've said it some too, it's a bit of a community. Like at the end of the day, that's my biggest, I guess, why, like professional why it always has been is just building community. And that's such a huge part of business stuff too, especially if you're an online tutor. Like you need a connection with people and you need to be able to see, who has already been there, but also it's really nice to be working alongside of people who are going through the same thing as you are and trying to do the same thing you're trying to do and be able to connect through that. And yeah, I would say that's my favorite part. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, mine too, for sure. It's really great. So what we're going to do is I'm going to link the information about the on I'm looking at my notes about Katie's course, but the online teacher enrollment system. I'm going to link the information for the online teacher enrollment system below. I'm going to link your YouTube channel below because that's really great too, and you can get a lot of information from there. And then if you're someone who's tutoring away and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to take it to the next level, then please reach out to Katie because she can help you do that. And you're the best person I've found so far that can definitely help you take that next step. So definitely reach out to her. She's there for you to help you. And please don't forget to join our Facebook group, the Tutoring Tips for Teachers Facebook group, where you can get lots of tips on how to start and grow your tutoring business there too. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much, Katie.
Thank you,
Bye.
Kelly. See ya.